And we are live for another night that you just cannot get rid of us. I am.
Yay!
See?
We're back!
At least the cast likes us.
Here's Fennec!
And for Friday the 13th, we're going to go with spooky themes, I think. So here we have Fennic the Shining. It's not copyrighted, right? Shouldn't be. I just said a name.
Well, we'll call him Fennec the Unshining, because he does deal with shadows.
What about Fennec the Sparkling?
No.
Fennec the
I would
Sparkle
reference a
Goblin.
movie, but I don't want to copyright.
Fennec is a Sparkle Goblin.
Fennec the Shimmerer. We're close there, right?
Shimmer, I will give a little bit more, but I like the Unshining.
All right, if we must.
But
We'll add a prefix if you insist.
I will shank everybody in the party if he becomes the Sparkling.
But you're short. They can just hold your head.
But I cast spells.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
I don't need to be close.
But thank you for joining us on this Friday the 13th. Before we go too much on a tangent, I didn't have a planned question of the session, but I do want to put the players on the spot tonight and see who is their most despised NPC they have met so far. Now, unfortunately, this does put Gearfreed at a bit of a disadvantage because you have only met really the equivalent of 3 NPCs. You have met the Emissary coming to collect Mei Li, you have met Ramus, and you have met Mei Li. So, if you despise any of those 3, or if I'm missing any, please feel free, or take this time, and I'm going to call on you last if you would choose. Come up with a character from your backstory who might be the most despised NPC you can meet. Not to put anybody on the spot or anything. So, if you want to just start us off, you can shout it out. If not, I can call randomly. What do we think?
Me specifically first?
If you want to go first, if you've got something prepared, you could certainly go first.
Sure. I feel like the obvious answer is the Emissary, because it's kind of a prick. I will say there were 2 other NPCs that you left out, and I don't trust leaders of religious anything. So I'm saying that like head cleric at that fucking church, he's up to something. I don't trust him. I feel like we're gonna come back. Everything's gonna be on martial law. Like the old temple's gonna be destroyed, and he's like, "Hey, I'm God now." That's what we're gonna come back to, because it always happens. Always, every time.
You know, you are right. I did miss those. That was the head cleric and the disciple that you dragged along and almost blew up. I mean, excuse me, had to help you mend your crystal. I like that answer, though.
He was so willing to send his pawn in to almost die in a horrific explosion, and yet I'm just saying, anyone altruistic would be like, "Let me be the one to potentially die," and he's like, "No, take this guy. I don't care about him."
And that's valid reasoning, or a good leader. With that, we're gonna hop over to Fennec. Hey, Fennec, who is your most despised NPC? I'm gonna see if I'm gonna see if I'm right about this.
Oh god, I could throw in the monkey wrench to foil you, but it's just gonna be a straight up lie. I don't know. There's this pompous prick of a bard in some taverns that really does Fennic.
You know, I was right, because I figured that was going to be the character you despised the most.
Oh, it's like a loathing, seething hatred.
And all it started with was a short joke and a bad limerick.
Oh my god. No, it didn't just start with a short stroke and a bad limerick. It started with those two and no monetary compensation for royalties.
Paid to you. Saerys got paid.
Well, when we go back into town, Fennec is going to get a lawyer for defamation.
Okay. I like the attitude. So, because we mentioned Saerys, hey Saerys, who is your most despised NPC so far?
It would have to be the Emissary, because he tried to take her bodyguard, and she is still on retainer. So,
Interesting.
but she also has a deep-seated mistrust of the Thieves Guild contact Carson James, because even though he's what she hoped for, in that, yes, thank you, a Thieves Guild is what I've been looking for, but they're a Thieves Guild. So, and doesn't necessarily trust Ramos. She doesn't like a lot of people, honestly.
But she despises the Emissary. And not the king, surprisingly.
Oh no, she despises the king, but she hasn't actually met him yet. I don't believe. I don't recall. She's met the Emissary.
Yeah, we have.
Your party has met the king.
Yeah. We have. I forgot. Well, yeah, she hates him more then. Because he's the one that made the order.
You hate King Orgev, and that makes sense. Because he does want melee. And, it's always for innocent reasons.
She's on retainer. Contracts have to count for something.
They do, right? Even in a steampunk society. All right,
exactly.
Levin, you're the wild card. I'm not sure which character you're going to despise the most.
That's because Levin doesn't really despise anyone. Hate gets in the way of the objective. It makes you make rash decisions, and it drives you to impulse.
He's a Jedi?
No. He just understands that if he needs to get something done, hate's going to get in the way of that. But in terms of people that he's overly concerned with, Prince Orgev. Because there are some inconsistencies with how a leader should be, and Prince Orgev is not displaying any of the qualities necessary to be a leader for his people.
Makes sense, particularly in a so-called city that only has a farm, a barn, a church, and a tavern constructed in this time period.
I'm actually
Go ahead.
I want to clarify something about this. It says those, but also a manor house for the quote-unquote king.
Well,
is he living in a small home, or is he living in luxury?
We're going to say
relative.
We're going to say relative luxury. Luxury.
The only fortified structure around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
fuck that guy.
Basically, the guard tower that is the most secured area. Because, what's a country without its monarch?
Better? I think the answer is better.
Opinions aside, that's how Levin would feel about it.
But for our audience, a little bit of a long-term recap. We started the campaign in the month of Nim, which is early summer. Over the course of about 8 weeks of in-game time travel, we have now been reaching the end of the month of Baracus, and we are heading into early autumn, which would kind of coincide with where we are in our seasons today. Now, who in the party would like to help me do a recap?
Things kind of started with Levin and Fennec just having to continue conversation with Ramos with regards to payment and jobs performed. And Yami, Saerys, and Gearfreed were involved in trying to fix the vessel that Gearfreed had on his person. That's about my recollection for the start of it.
Yep.
I can continue on that, I guess. After we had so that was continuing after the long rest. We went to what was that northern town called?
Starlasker.
Starlasker. We went to Starlasker. Met with Ramos there again. We had to reconvene. He was trying to catch a train to another thing, but he delayed. We went to a tavern. More discussions were had, and I vaguely recall the discussions because it was mostly talking shop, I believe, about the zombie incursion that you guys were dealing. It was stuff that I'm still only slightly privy to.
Yeah.
Something that Mech triggered and then fled.
Mech triggered a beacon stone of some sort, but
not the army horde.
The army horde was further east-northeast of that position.
And in fact,
by a fair distance.
I believe you had the clue that the zombie horde was connected to the Emerald Claw. Or at least that's who the emissary who had approached was talking about.
Yeah. Associations with the Emerald Claw and initial investigations into associates with the Emerald Claw or associations with the Emerald Claw currently have come up dry. So,
yeah.
It's something to continue to look into.
But of course,
with regards to... Yep. Sorry, continue.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
But with regards to us leaving Emissary to go north to Starlasker, that was because of us wanting to get Melee away from the situation specifically, and to meet up with Ramos to at least reconvene and address some concerns, especially those concerns of information. I believe he had set us up with some rumors, as it were, about how Orgev was getting funding, and that he would be leaving by lightning rail to go to Rote shortly to manage things on that end.
Yep. A couple of other things that had happened. So going back to when you had greeted him at the train station, after you had set the initial meeting, he had ended up sending a message to you all through magical means, giving you a secondary address in which you were to meet him. That is where he had begrudgingly bore the nickname Uncle Ram Ram.
Mm.
You can't forget to
Good times.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like the highlight of the session.
It's true.
He did front the cost for you to get back to Rote. The only thing that you as a party had to pay was 40 gold pieces to get your vehicle towed along with you. As a bit of a reasoning why, 498 gold pieces to get back per person. That is well over, 5 of you, well over 2,000 gold pieces. So, all he had asked was that you would pay a $40 gold piece, a 40 gold piece shipping fee for your vehicle to take that along with you. The trip back to Rote is going to take you about 33 hours, give or take 33 and a half hours. And with that travel back, you are now entering the month of Ran. As I said, it is now early spring. So, you have about 33 hours of downtime. In real time, I'm going to give us about 5 minutes of kind of time for you guys to associate throughout those 33 hours. If you choose to sleep, that's awesome. You get a super long nap. You're super long rested, no extra effects. But what would you like to do over that time span?
Sorry, you go first.
Gearfreed would like to go and see if he can find any jewelers at all. I'm looking for one thing I feel like I'm going to need, and that is a pearl worth at least 100 gold.
Okay, so I would assume this is before you get onto the lightning round.
Yeah.
All right. You will not find something like that here in this town, but
Fine.
you would be able to find the jeweler in Rote.
Okay.
Specifically because that is more of a high-end piece because of its gold value.
Mhm.
But if you wanted to find like 50 gold piece gems, 20 gold piece, things like that, that's where you'd be able to find it here.
All right. That's it then.
All right. So, timer's set. Go ahead and kind of role play out. And if you want to break it up in time, I can give us 2 minutes for the first 12 hours and then another 2 minutes for the other 12 hours. What would you like to do?
A necklace, don't I?
You do have a necklace. I'm glad you remembered.
I mean, it's a material possession. I always remember.
So what would you like to do?
I mean, she lifted it off a dude at random. Seems weird that he was walking around with it in a pouch. I think she's just gonna hold on to it for a while and not touch it because she's a little suspicious of it because she can recognize that it is magical.
That it is.
But she does not want to, like, she's wary of it because of how she found it. Like, something like this would normally be, like, worn by the person or on their person. And the fact
Unless
that
he
he
was
had it,
planning
like,
on gifting it.
maybe. I mean, it would be the first time Saerys has stolen a wedding band or something, but she doesn't trust it.
Which is fair.
So she's going to wait till they get to Rote where she can perhaps find somebody with the skill capable of giving her more information about it.
Alrighty.
Other than that, she's just going to, make sure Melee is comfortable.
Okay. With that, you guys are given coach tickets while Ramos is in the first class. He does invite you to his booth, though, to drink with him. Whether or not you choose to go there, that is up to you. You do have, like I said, 2 12-hour, 8, you have a lot of time on your hands. We're going to time skip after about another 3 or 4 more minutes.
I feel like Gearfreed would very much take up Ramos on that offer to drink because he would have a lot of questions about the foot and also just to drink. That sounds like a very good time.
You know what? Ramos loves to talk about his foot, so he's going to definitely enjoy the conversation.
On Levin's part, effectively using Ramos's name as an excuse to go traveling from coach to first class, he's gonna walk through and try to get a sense of the people that are currently on the rail to see if there's anyone in particular that he should be wary of, because he actually wants to have a moment to relax on this train trip, and he would rather know ahead of time if there's going to be a person who's going to be untoward the group.
So go ahead and either give me a perception check or an insight check. Insight, because you're trying to gauge hostility levels. Perception, you're looking for something that stands out.
I'll go insight for body language and intentions.
Alrighty.
14.
You notice that nobody really stands out as being any degree of suspicious. You have a bunch of people who in the first class who are snobbish and elitist, who are really keeping to themselves, maintaining the stereotypical type of behavior. You have the waitstaff who seems somewhat not dismissive, and not repulsed, but somewhere in between at dealing with the entitlement of these passengers. As for hostility, you don't notice any real intent or anything suspicious that is enough to alert you.
Alright. Bearing that, Levin is going to ask any of the coach hands if there's a place that he can get away with lighting up a cigarette. And
Yes,
barring
there's
that, he'll literally climb onto the roof if he has to.
there's a smoking section right in between the first class and the coach. And it would be a small, like, seating room that really only has, like, 4 to 8 seats in it. It's spaced out. It's enough of a long, it's, like, half the size of a normal carriage. But you would notice that it's decked out with, like, vents and things like that are ran off of the dragon shard crystals that keep this thing kind of levitating.
Yep.
And it is designed for smoking.
He's going to beeline to there and have his first cigarette in 6 weeks.
There we go. Yeah, I noticed that. You haven't had a cigarette.
It's been work mode.
Yeah? Alright, so we have, so far, Saerys, who is debating whether or not she wants to touch this necklace, eventually really realizing, oh, I don't trust this. She's going to put it away. And she's going to wait until rote. We're going to get back to Saerys to see what else she wants to do during that time. We have Levin, who is in the smoking room. We have Gearfreed, who is off to the first class to go drink with Ramos. Yami, what is it you're doing?
Yami, you're muted.
Is that why it's so quiet?
Yeah, hello.
There we
The
go.
amount of times he mutes himself,
I
he
would
should
be
just be a
the whole
bard
time. I'd
behind
probably
him.
just be training, looking, gathering some supply like herbs and stuff.
You're on a
Practicing my
train, sir.
sword, just relaxing.
You're on a train, sir. You are not gathering herbs.
Oh, we're on a train. Oh, I misread that. All right, so yeah, I'm just gonna be chilling, hanging out, reading up on if there's anything I could like study and stuff on the train. Like, is there a library in the train like that? Like a book
There
section?
is not.
The hell kind of train do you think we're on?
It's all like young adult romance novels.
All right, yep. So I'm just hanging around, just lounging.
Fennec is
relaxing.
in.
Alrighty. So with that, you are lounging around. Fennec, what would you like to do, my friend?
Fennec is just kind of like walking. Is it one of like the like longer like it's a transport train, right? So it's got like the different compartments, the different cars.
Yep.
Okay. He's just kind of walking around and he has his pouch of random keys out and he's just randomly going to doors.
You know, I'm so glad you mentioned the keys because I was actually talking to Marshall the other day and go, what? Did you forget about that one?
Whoa.
Man, I'm so glad.
He's been outdoors.
I'm proud. None of those keys work, though. They are not train compartment keys. Sorry, buddy.
Oh, so to catch Gearfreed up to that, Fennec has a random pouch of just keys that he has found, and his goal is to find what each one opens.
Okay.
It is a very like unachievable task, but we know what this goblin's determination can do.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he's just going around like just kind of like, oop, sorry, like not the right one, or like if
all
he
the
finds
So
you what?
I gotta ask, how are you doing this without looking suspicious in any degree? Otherwise,
'Cause he's
I'm gonna need like a deception check or some
He is in a suit.
charisma-based check.
I mean, he's not
Yeah, but
trying.
he's also a goblin.
He's
Yeah, I
a
went
goblin in a three-piece suit.
That doesn't scream suspicious.
I feel
I mean,
like it
no.
layers confusion.
It screams help.
I'm
Whether
So-
it's the help or please help.
He's not
I'm
trying to be subtle.
gonna need some sort of a charisma-based check here.
All right, what do you want?
I will allow you to argue the skill. What would you like to attempt to apply? Are you
I
trying
mean,
to
he's
be
he's not trying to deceive anyone.
All right, so give me just a general charisma check.
I'd say persuasion would be applicable.
I will allow it.
But what would he be persuaded?
Persuasion doesn't necessarily have to just mean words. You can just be looking like you belong. So it's just, otherwise, you can use a performance check as well.
The same, so. Alright, I'll go. Yeah, I'll just do persuasion. I mean, yeah, he's literally just like walking down the halls, like maybe like whistling a little tune and just like, randomly grabbing a key, finding a locked door or something, and just. Let's go persuasion. Maybe it is. Screen. Normal.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. Persuasion. Normal. That is a 22.
You look like you belong.
Yeah, he does.
3-piece suit and all. Doesn't scream help after all.
He's a sane goblin, just randomly trying to get into things.
If Saerys were there, she'd be so proud that how.
Yeah, he's just like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Saerys would be.
It's just
so
like,
proud right
if he he'll just be going and like, if he gets that look, he'll just be like, official train business, go about your business, and just keep going.
Alrighty, so we've got the quest of the keys.
And you said no doors, like you didn't, nothing.
No, none of those were train doors, train keys.
Now, were any of the doors unlocked?
That's a different question. You didn't say you were trying to open the doors. You just said you were trying to put the keys in. There was no keyhole.
One could imply that if he's trying to unlock it, he finds it's unlocked.
Sir, I am not inferring that information.
All right, I didn't specify.
Would Fennec have also been trying to open the doors?
I mean, when you test the door to see if it's locked, you test it by trying to open it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
He said that he was trying to see if the keys fit. He never said that he was trying to open the door. You can put a key in without opening a door.
But the only way to test if a key works is to try and open the door.
I mean, if it turns, pretty good.
What kind of doors are on the...
Semantics aside, there are no real keyholes in them. They lock from the inside.
Okay.
So now, but that changes matters if you're opening doors and entering. Are you opening doors and entering?
Of course he is.
Cool. As you open the first door, go ahead and give me an even or odds roll. You can pick the dice you want to roll.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go odd for Friday the 13th. I'm going odd.
Alrighty.
All right. Okay. Which dice do you want me to roll?
Pick a dice. It's even or odd. It doesn't really matter to me. It's going to happen one way or the other. Just don't pick a D3.
Then I'm going D100.
Alrighty.
Oh, the classics.
73.
Alrighty. You open up a door and you see a woman that's getting ready to change, and she's now in her undergarments. As you open the door, she turns around and she screams.
Whoa. Calm your tits. I don't know why you're screaming. I'm just
Give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Or what?
Persuasion check at disadvantage, and then you can finish that statement.
Open the door. Calm the fuck down.
You're right. Calm down your tits, man.
That's a nat 1.
She screams louder and cannot hear your words.
Ma'am, please contain the calamity that is your memories.
I'm security. I'm just making sure everybody's okay.
Give me a deception check at disadvantage.
Yes.
Just start shouting. It's just a prank, bro.
Gods.
17.
Wow, not bad for disadvantage.
It's not bad. She slams the door and she slams the sliding door shut in your face. But attention has now been drawn to the compartment you're in.
Oh, God. People these days just don't respect good help.
And this is within the first 12 hours.
So Fennec through the door, Fennec is just going to yell back, "I've seen better," and walk off.
Break
The
and enter
other-
and then just insult this poor woman.
So
Yep.
keep in mind, that woman is not the only occupant there. So the
You
other
said there was only one.
occupants, I said that was the door you opened.
Oh,
You
so
mean
you're
Say
the
there
saying
other
was
room.
only one.
Other rooms
You're on
would
a-
have probably heard the commotion.
okay.
So as this woman is screaming, as you're shouting at her, what else would we like to do during this time? Let me actually pull up a map for the train rail, lightning rail. This is fun.
Let's see. Oh, crap. Where's Saerys Eater?
She's sitting in her chair, minding
Yes, but
her
I'm
own
not near
business.
your chair. I could. Oh, how much has there been enough attention that people are coming?
What happened? Repeat that.
Did he draw enough attention that like people are coming out, or like people have been called to come help?
Not so the guards would be starting to react. To
Okay.
it. But as for people coming out of their rooms, no.
Okay.
But you
Are there
can
any guards
notice-
inside?
Hold on. You can notice that there are shades that are being drawn. So
Okay.
there are spectators. They are just not leaving the cart, their rooms.
Okay. And are there any visible? Is there any visible guard movement in his area from him
This
for him?
cart, you would be able to see thinking of being on like a subway cart, you would be able to see through a window that there are guards heading to you from the frontal area.
Okay.
You yourself are about in the middle of the train.
Okay. Cool. When the guards reach him,
Oh, you want to meet the guards? Gotcha.
sure.
I wonder if they'll be my friends.
This is where I make Saerys really proud.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
We're gonna see.
There's about not getting caught.
All right. So you are going to notice 3 guards entering the room.
Okay. And Fennec is going to immediately start saying, I heard the scream. I came rushing. I opened the door. She was there. I saw her. It was horrible. And then he's going to collapse.
She's going to exit, hearing you talking to somebody, and say, "This guard of yours accosted me. Do something." And they're going
Fennec
to
will
approach
just
you.
drop to the floor.
Oh, you're already dropped to the floor as she does this.
Yep.
So they are
Yeah, so
approaching. They are approaching you to apprehend you.
he's going to be apprehended because he's playing dead.
Okay, they are handcuffing you and bringing you to the equivalent of a brig.
Doesn't he have like no heartbeat?
His heart beats once a minute.
So they might think he died.
Yep.
Nah, we're gonna say they're arresting you.
You're arresting a corpse?
Why not? How do they know you're a corpse?
Because
No
he's
pulse?
laying on the floor dead without a heartbeat? Just saying.
These are the worst security.
I
I'm gonna say they're not worried about checking your pulse. They are going to arrest you. They are going to cuff you and take you.
Okay.
It's one of those arrest first or apprehend first, ask questions later.
Okay. I'll take it.
DM, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Would Levin have been able to hear this commotion with regards to there being a commotion, not anything specific about it?
I'm going to say you're far enough away that no, you wouldn't have heard this one.
Okay.
It's alone.
He's alone. He did this one alone.
Oh no, I accept this. 'Cause-
I'm just saying. It's not like
No, yeah,
I'm picking on you. Just saying.
No. This is all him.
Got to just, give Ramos a bigger headache. What can I say?
Would any of us notice his absence over the course of the next few hours?
Well, you were not. You were drinking currently with Ramos, and we're going to get you to you in a minute. Levin, ultimately, depending on what he wants to do after he smokes, if he's chain smoking for several hours, or if he's going to join you, you guys are all kind of dispersed as it is. So you're all missing right now.
All right.
Do you? Yeah. So ultimately, if you wanted to regroup, we can address that after we just go through all of this for a minute. So with that, let's move to after Fennec gets apprehended. You were drinking with Ramos. He is in the first class. He's in the first class area. You are drinking the top shelf booze. All the while, he is sitting, his legs on the table, cross-legged. The robotic foot always presented first.
All right. I figure Gearfreed would have spent the last couple of hours just kind of talking about the foot, where how he got it made, where it was crafted, all that stuff.
Oh, well, I have this awesome mage right in Sean, and he custom made this over several attempts. In fact, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be needing another package picked up. It's a mechanized liver. So, I should hopefully be able to get something new. That's not for me. I have a compatriot of mine who has, let's say, hit the booze too much. And my mage right friend wants to offer this as a trade, an experimentation.
Huh.
Free mechanized liver for hopefully not dying.
Well, if you need something delivered, then I could certainly help with that. We're part of the reason I joined these individuals was to act as transportation, and I've got my own cruiser.
Well, if it helps, I am offering a reward of doing it. It's not like I'd ask you to do it for free. And if anybody
Absolutely.
works with you, I'm thinking, 400 gold pieces, 450, that should be fair going, right?
Absolutely.
I think he should have it done in about a week and a half.
There's
So
a
you have
pickup point.
You have until then to make your decision.
Right. Well, I should ask the group to see what they think, since I suppose their opinions do matter now. But yeah, I'm at least interested. By the way, I just joined these people. I don't know if you got that from the fact that you've never seen me before up until this point.
I'm pretty good
what
with context clues.
Right. What are your opinions of these individuals?
They're an interesting lot that seem to have very little in joining them together, but they're reliable. And as long as they're reliable, it works for me. They seem to get along fairly well. Why? Are you having second thoughts joining them?
No, I go with pretty much anything. I'm just trying to figure what I've got myself into is all.
Oh, I will say, warn that Saerys. Never use Uncle Ram again.
Oh, I'm sure even if I tell her, she's going to use it frequently. If she saw how much that annoyed you.
You're right. Last.
What you really ought to do, right? Embrace the name and pretend like you love it. I promise you, it'll annoy her. That's all I'm saying. It'll annoy her. She'll become infuriated that you've actually come to become endeared by the name.
I'll give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? But if she does it in front of royalty, she gets arrested.
Yeah,
You can warn her in advance.
Right, I'll make sure to do that.
So what about you? You had that
What about me?
hunk of junk I saw loaded up. Is that yours?
I take great offense to that, actually, and yes, she is.
Which? That I asked if it's yours, if I called it a she, or that it's a hunk of junk?
The last one. She is a beautiful vehicle that just doesn't look as conventional as all the other ones.
Excuse me.
Don't body shame my cruiser.
Let me rephrase it. Is that your lack of aesthetically pleasing vehicle that I saw being loaded in?
Now you're just being cheeky, and yes, it is.
Okay. Understood. As long as you caught both aspects. And he's going to kind of do a belly laugh. Ha 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 ha. As he orders another round of drinks.
I'll keep drinking.
All right. So at this point, several hours would pass. We're going to start doing a time skip, so you would be able to all regroup as a party. Before we regroup, is there any other points that anybody wants me to get to for the progression of the story? Now, at that point, you would notice that Fennec is missing. So Fennec, to touch on you, you are still in the brig of the train, but you are perceived to be dead. Bless you.
Thank you.
So, is there anything we should touch on before you regroup as a party?
I can't think of anything.
I'm going to take that silence as a no. We're good. So you are now regrouped for the night. You'd be able to take what is the equivalent of a long rest. If you were applying any skills for the day, you could apply that for mastering said skill. If not, you are now regrouped as a party.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Would Fennec benefit from that long rest?
Are you pretending to be dead?
Yep. I mean, it doesn't get much more, less non-strenuous activity than that.
I mean, I feel like that would be very strenuous. You have to keep yourself motionless to escape being seen.
I mean, at this point, how long has he been in custody?
I didn't say you weren't being watched. I just said you were presumed dead.
No, I know.
Oh, okay. So at this point, you'd be in custody for several hours.
Okay, I mean, he would have just fallen asleep.
But again, that's not being dead.
To them.
Not really.
Well, to him.
You're still breathing normally. Just because you stop your heartbeat doesn't mean you're holding your breath. You're not breathless.
That's true. He would, yeah, so he'd have to be conscious to be holding.
So if and at that point, you are consciously exerting effort to presume dead, which means you would either need to do a performance or a survival check. Or or a sleight of hand check, or something like that, because of the fact that you are trying to fool people into thinking that you are dead, and you are not breathless in nature.
All right, I'll go with the performance.
You could certainly try.
Yeah.
And this check will be remade every couple of hours as long as you are performing this action.
As long as I'm performing death?
Yes.
Performance. Normal?
Playing dead is an action. Yes.
No, I know. That's why I'm rolling with it.
Yep.
6?
They know you're playing dead, and you are handcuffed to a wall.
All right. So do I know that they know that I'm not dead?
Give me an insight check. At disadvantage because you're playing dead.
Oh yes, because I would have to. Yep. Okay.
You are otherwise engaged at this moment.
Yes. No. I know. It's a 9.
You think that you're fooling them.
All right. Yep. So he's handcuffed to a wall, pretend to be dead. Like every time he thinks that they're not looking, he'll just kind of like crack his eyes open. As they go, he'll just close them again.
You're doing spectacular at this.
I mean,
Saerys would be proud.
Saerys would be proud of the attempt. Actually, I can't speak for Saerys.
No, I think Saerys is going to be more upset that you got caught. Saerys, what do you think?
She doesn't know, so she has no opinion yet.
Fair enough. So, with that, you guys are regrouped.
-1.
I was gonna
-1.
say, yeah, we wouldn't have known about Fennec, right? So
Not until now, because after these several hours, you are short. Get it? Short. A member?
oh god.
I'm Gearfreed is going to at some point just look at Saerys and say, "Hey, short stuff. Where's shorter stuff?"
She looks over at Melee. I'm thirsty. Would you like to get a drink?
I would very much so.
Excellent.
Aren't we
Very helpful.
Aren't we a little short somebody?
That's sort of what I was getting at. I've been watching it. I was drinking with Ramos.
Rolls her eyes.
You have a very negative opinion of Ramos, don't you?
I have opinions of everybody.
Right, but your seems to be overwhelmingly negative of Ramos.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, the eye roll, you know. You seem like it seems like he annoys you. That's all I'm saying.
What happened to your adopted child, as I air quote to Saerys? You're not worried about him?
The adult goblin that you treat like a child? Yes. He wandered off.
Wait, is he not? Is he not a child?
Responsible. No, he's not a child.
Oh, well.
He's a young adult.
I feel embarrassed now.
I mean, he is of age.
Yeah, I think you just reached the cusp of your adulthood, if I believe, right? 8 years old?
No, he's 8. Fennec's 18.
But isn't that like 8? So what is it in Goblin years? So how
13. 13 is the age of, like, typically the age of maturity for a goblin.
Yeah.
He was like in his
Nice.
mid-30s,
By human
Okay.
standards. Yeah.
With
early
that,
40s.
those
What
handcuffed...
I think that we can
those
agree
hand-
on is that he is missing.
Yes.
Does appear to be
Right,
missing.
where the hell he go?
I'm going to ask around.
Check with the guards first. He probably got into something.
I wonder who influenced this was, as I kind of side-eye Saerys.
I suspect Ramos.
See, and you hop right to blaming him. So you do have a problem with the guy.
No, I just have an opinion.
It's very
With that.
difficult to read her.
With that, what would you guys like to do, and how would you like to look for Fennec?
Sarah's is gonna stay in her chair and wait.
I agree with Levin. We should probably
like
just
it.
ask the guards.
Yeah, I'm asking everybody and anybody. Have you seen a goblin this high? Kind of creepy looking. Still cute, though, in a way.
Oh,
Have you
tries to
seen
be
child short hair? Gotcha.
He
Understood.
tries to look creepy, but he's actually really cute. So don't mind him. Have you seen him though?
So, before we go into that, are you approaching somebody who is a normal passenger, or are you approaching somebody who is looking like they are a part of the railroad employee or the lightning rail employment?
The first
Because-
person I see at your discretion.
Go
I'm going
ahead
to the
and-
first person, whether it's guard or not.
Go ahead and roll me a d4.
Roll you a d4, sir. Where's my fours? Ah,
The
there we
rest-
go.
The rest of you. So I know Saerys is staying in her chair. Fennec, you're handcuffed to a wall.
Playing dead.
Sorry, I just like saying that. It's kind of funny. Gearfreed and Levin, you are heading for a guard. Yami, what did
Yep.
you roll?
Oh no, sir. Oh
A
no.
1. All right, you are going to approach a elderly, very particular type of woman, go ahead and give me a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Roger.
And it's a high
Roger.
DC.
May the
You
20s
you
be
are,
with me.
you are dealing with the equivalent of an Eberron Karen.
What?
So,
You said, I'm sorry, what was it, perception or persuasion?
Persuasion.
Oh, I'm
Eberron.
fucking horribly amazing at these. I got 11.
She wants to speak to your manager.
Ah, perfect. Is Levin and Gearfreed passing by me? Or within sight?
I'm gonna say, would you guys go in the same direction as each other and Yami, or are you heading in a different direction? What are your motives at this point?
Levin would have gone towards steerage looking for any officiate, specifically because where else are they going to detain people?
Makes sense.
And I would have
Gearfreed?
gone with him. I would have gone with him.
So I'm going to say that you guys are passing by Yami as he's being berated by this entitled woman. And
I'm
all
gonna.
about how that
Mhm.
he has the audacity to approach her while she is trying to decompress during this long train ride. And that
As
the
they pass
staff
by-
of the lightning rail should be better. After all, you are dressed as good as they are.
All right, with that premise, as Levin passes by my hand and shows, like, oh, look, my manager, he's right here. Hey, somebody wants to talk to you.
Excuse me, your employee is super rude. He approached me with no provocation. He's asking me all of these questions. And she
Levin's
begins-
going to hold a hand up with his palm facing outward, and he's going to wait for her to finish.
And she's going to go on about like a 2-minute tirade about all of the things that are wrong with Yami. Yami, she's going to be attacking your character's appearance. She's going to be attacking the mannerisms. Anything she could possibly glean to...
I'm slowly reaching for the button that switches off my fireworks from my hat. But I'm not pressing it. I'm just reaching for it, like, slowly. I still got pyrotechnics.
Levin, eventually you're going to notice that she stops as she waits for your response.
Now turning his palm inward and placing it over his heart, he's going to give a light bow and said, I apologize, ma'am. I do not know this individual. I am not. And he's going to gesture towards his very obvious robes that do not look official in any way for people of the staff on this train. I am not a member of the staff on this train. I do not know what this individual is speaking of.
She's going to turn to Yami once more and have...
And he's
this-
going to walk away.
this look of death on her face. Like, you lied. Show me your boss now.
All right, you know what? I'm sorry. I thought he looked like the guy. Let me go get him for you right now. I'll be right back. I'll walk away.
And she's going to wait there patient. You know what? Before I say that, give me a deception check. This is a straight roll,
Okay.
not a disadvantage.
All right, so just a straight 20 roll. Or you said for deception? I'm still
Deception.
terrible at those, so might as
Well,
well be
Hey,
deception.
listen, I tried. If
It's
there's a
alright.
different skill that you think could apply, I'll allow it. You could argue it.
That's nope. I'm completely lying. So nope. That's
Okay.
fair enough.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
Because performance would work too. I don't know if you're better at performance, but that would work too.
I think that's. I'm just nope. It's all the same. Yep.
All
I'm
right,
just
well,
terrible. I'm not.
I tried. You know, I tried.
I appreciate it. Let me. I'll fill on my own terms. What?
I love it. I love the optimism.
I got a nat
This
20
chain
for a
is-
19.
This train is picking us off one by one.
At 19. All right. She believes you. She is going to stand there waiting for you to return.
I think this was like the best 20 out of all the 20s I've ever rolled, even though it still wasn't a 20.
Now, with
I
that,
think this is like the. Oh, all right, I'm following these guys up. By the way,
right, of all times to get a nat is when you're dealing with a Karen, you know?
oh, thank God, this. All I think it would have been the hardest boss I fought.
I apologize to any Karens who are not a Karen watching this episode. But we are going to go on to Yami.
Yep.
Yami. We just dealt with Yami. We're going to go on to Levin and Gearfreed.
Please, no
So
more.
you are
No more,
approaching a
thank you.
guard. You notice that there are 2 guards standing outside of the rear steerage cart, which is about the next cart over. So as you pass, there's one more cart, but you see that there's 2 guards sitting at the end.
All right. I approach one of the guards and I just say, "Excuse me, sir. We're looking for a compatriot of ours, short, green, goblin."
You mean the pervert?
I'm gonna say yes. I'm just gonna assume that's who we're talking about, the same individual.
Well, if it's the individual that opened up a woman's door while she was changing and peeking in, well then, yes, he's under arrest. Or at least
Right,
in our custody.
Is there a way to get you to release him into our custody? I was entirely our fault. We probably should have been keeping a better eye on him.
Sure,
I'll promise you.
when you get to Rote, right, you can fill out the proper paperwork and he can be released after a trial.
Is there any way to bypass that? Monetarily.
Are you trying to bribe an officer?
Sorry, apologies. I
No.
think what he intended was that we expedite the process as opposed to embarrassing certain individuals with the nature of the goings-on. Nothing untoward.
Unfortunately, my orders are to hold him here unless otherwise told to do not to do so.
Understood. I do have 2 questions if you don't mind.
Sure.
The first is, he was... what specific charge is he currently being detained for?
Entering another patron's compartment, peeking, so...
Trespass and menacing, gotcha.
yes. Sorry, I drew a blank
And-
meta-wise for loss. Go ahead.
Right. And, by your estimation, what would be the penalty for such acts?
Well, in my experience in Breland, they're quite stringent in those laws. You're thinking at least 3 to 6 months in prison.
That's correct, but we are currently on a lightning rail operated and owned by Lorandar, so rote laws do not specifically apply here.
Well, that's for the lawyers to decide.
I agree. But I was only asking for an estimation. If
I'm
you
not
don't
a
have
legal-
one, then
I'm not a legal expert. All I know is my job is to hold him here until we get to the station.
I do have one final question. May I check on the health of the individual, at the very least?
Sure. He thinks that he's clever. He thinks he has us fooled that he's dead. He's been at it for
All right.
hours.
Levin's gonna offload his current weapons to the side where they can plainly see them. And he's gonna put his arms out and submit to a pat.
They will give you a quick pat down, and they will allow you entrance.
Alright, Levin's gonna go check on Fennec.
Gearfreed, are you going to do something similar, or are you going to just chill out with the guards?
I'm gonna chill out with the guards. Are either of these guys a dwarf?
They are not. They're actually both human.
Alright. That's the case, then I'm just going to lean back and I'll say, so, did you only... Is it just his story or her story that you got, or did you get did he say anything to you?
Well, we got her story, the two neighboring compartments story, the compartment across the way story, and then his story, which didn't correspond with the other stories. And then there was the whole matter of playing dead and thinking that we were going through it.
Right. And there's no other way to just have him be released to our custody?
Sir,
I
if I get caught, do you know how much I will suffer and my family?
Well, the solution to that, I would just say, is not be caught. Simple enough, right?
He's just gonna look at you with like a dumbstruck expression. Not on your life. I have 4 kids at home, a wife, 2 sets of elderly parents. You think I could afford to get fired?
Do you not have a good union here?
What's a union?
All right, so here's how this works. As a workforce, right? If you and all of your coworkers were to band together and unionize, like have everyone form a single union, that way you could stand up against your employer, who is, I assume, completely screwing you with your wages right now. But you could then collectively bargain for your for proper wages, right? And after doing that, you'll be able to, get a. I mean, you have 4 kids. I assume you're the only person bringing home any kind of compensation. So, I mean,
But of course,
you
somebody
work
has to take care of the kids.
Exactly, you work full time, so you should be able to feed an entire family. Your entire day is spent here. It only makes sense that the person who's forcing you to stay, or paying you to stay here rather, is paying you so that you can live and do that too.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check. I'm so tempted to have it at disadvantage because they have never heard of a union before. And this is
Roll to unionize.
no. First of all, yes, they have. They're called the Dragon Marked Houses.
Yep.
Yeah, but they price gouge. Yeah, all right, go ahead.
That's what happens when you just get a little too long.
Go ahead, give me a persuasion check.
I just did it.
Nice. You notice that in one guard, it's like, that makes sense. And the other guard is like, shut up, stay on point. You don't want to get arrested.
I'm just having that conversation with them as Levin's doing what he's doing with Fennec.
All right. So with that, we're going to go into that cavern. We're going to go, into the carriage where Levin is now meeting with the not so convincingly dead goblin.
The umbral goblin, Fennec.
The Unshining.
The sparkling Fennec.
Fennec. It's Levin. Are you awake?
No.
They didn't happen to rough you up in it, have they?
I didn't do anything. This is discrimination at its finest. He still has his eyes closed and is just kind of hanging there. All.
Right.
What are they charging me with? Being a goblin?
No, currently trespassing, menacing, disturbing the peace.
He's now eyes open, fully animated, chained to a wall. Disturbing the peace? That woman screamed her bloody lungs out.
Okay. And what happened before she was screaming?
She took her clothes off.
Sorry, let me be more specific. What were you doing before she was screaming?
I was just minding my own business, knocking on doors, making sure everybody was comfortable and safe.
So So through a knocked door, she was screaming her head off.
Nobody answered. I was just checking. I heard a sound.
So you opened the door without express permission of the staff or the individual in the room. She screamed.
He'll think for a second. Well, not quite. I was,
Fennec,
walking, and then the train hit a bump, and I fell, and I went to brace myself, and the door handle was there, and it opened, and she screamed, and I saw things I can't unsee.
Fennec.
Yes.
You do know that I noticed little details like bumps in a lightning rail, right?
I want my lawyer. Where's Saerys?
I am not arresting you. I am not prosecuting you. You can retain legal counsel, but none of that will happen until after we've arrived en route.
You're also not unhooking. They're really keeping me in custody because I tripped. The real crime is like, you know what? I'm not going to body shame.
Let me talk to a couple of people and see what we can do to at least improve your situation. Can you not burn things down in the meantime?
Are the guards looking at Fennec?
They're not in the same room as you.
Oh, so it's just me and Levin?
They're standing outside of the door, yes. They know you're alive. Like, they know that you're chained up. You know what I mean? Like, they don't need to watch you at that point.
Can I make a little fire?
Fennec, do you think that this will improve your situation in any regard?
Maybe.
Then I leave it to your judgment, but I would recommend you not doing it while I'm in the room.
Deal.
With that, Levin.
Fennec, in case you were wondering, that was actually a warning not to do it.
Oh, I know. He picked up on it. But he's going to leave you in suspense.
Alright, seriously though, you're not hurt?
No.
I'll be back in a bit then. And he's gonna get up and leave.
Alrighty.
And that's why I say, if you can't eat bread, you eat the rich.
You know, what you're saying makes so much sense. Would you shut up?
And Levin's gonna walk right past Gearfreed and say, Treaty of Thronehold, let's go.
Right. And I'm just going to wave off the guards and keep going.
With that, are you going back to Saerys, or is there anything you guys want to do? Yami, at this point, are you coming back? Are you just avoiding that rear area of the train? Because that Karen is still waiting for you.
Yeah,
Like, she's looking at her watch and saying, it's been like 15 minutes. Where the fuck is he?
You know what, guys? I might just sit back here for the rest of the ride. I'll just keep Fennec company. Or wait for his ride.
You didn't even get that far. You're like a train car away from Joan. Or rather, Saerys.
Oh, I know what I should have done. Okay, nope, finished.
Maybe so I'm passing Saerys now?
You could go back to where Saerys is. So
that's
yeah,
passing the lady though, right?
as you moved away from the lady, you're heading towards where Saerys is. Yeah, she's in like the next car over.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not going back that way at all. I'm just gonna be like, then Sarah. I know Saerys changes her appearance a lot, but is this the appearance I would notice?
I'm assuming she wouldn't have changed since you all left her. Saerys, would you be in the same form? But
yeah.
You'd also recognize Mei Li unless she made Mei Li invisible again. You never know.
Alright, I forgot about Mei Li. Yeah, so honestly, I would probably just see Mei Li. I know Saerys is never too far.
We look this. We look as we normally do. So Saerys is like she's put on some gloves and she's wearing like a cowled hood because she looks extremely distinctive and she's not trying to draw attention to herself.
So wearing a hood inside of a train. Gotcha.
She would rather they look for the hood than they look for the pale elf.
Hey, that's fair. No judgment. After all, it's not a dapper hat, you know.
Dapper hats cause attention.
But-
So I'm gonna like hop in a seat next to Saerys, not next like directly across from her, but like not in the same booth as her, but like right on the other side from her.
She's
Alright.
like sitting there. She looks up, it's like, oh, that was brief.
Yeah. So somebody wants to talk to you in the back.
Oh. Why?
They asked for my manager, and I said, you know, you're the one that only hired me, so you have to. You're a manager of some type, right? So maybe you can take care of this. I don't know, but she was looking for you, not me. So
I hope
She puts.
You're-
So
you're gonna see-
Saerys leans forward and does a little bit of a Gendo Akari, but with a hooded, like her face is hooded and in shadow, and she looks to Yami. Are you saying I'm in charge of you?
You're gonna notice that
mean-
Maylee steps up and she's gonna be a bit more courageous than normal, and she's gonna look at Yami. Are you telling me you told another person her name?
that part, no. But the rest of it, maybe.
Yami's impulsive. He doesn't want, but he's not suicidal.
Well, he's already done it once so far.
I mean, we are traveling with Gearfreed. I suppose.
But wouldn't it have been better for you to tell Gearfried instead of him?
Oh, so most certainly, and there will be repercussions. But
It's all right. I don't need another drunken night with a dagger to my throat because I still don't even remember that whole night. But I apologize for whatever I did.
Maylee's
That's
just
fine.
gonna kind of huff and then sit down.
Do Levin and I enter at any point?
As they're bickering and that bit of conversation is going on, you would be passing that Karen, so you would know that she's sitting there watching the clock, waiting for somebody to return, and then you would be regrouped.
All right. Entering, I'm just as we enter in the whatever they're saying, I'm just going to interrupt and say, "Goblin friends in prison." Let Levin in behind me.
And on that note, I think we're going to hop off for a break for a minute. So we're going to be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. While you're waiting, I'm going to shamelessly advertise. Check out playersoftherealms.com. Check out our merch store. We have more to come as the time goes on. But any little bit that you can help, we have a Patreon. We have our YouTube channel. Please feel free to like and subscribe. And we have this wonderful AI voice that is doing our advertisement for our intro bumper. So give that a listen. Oh, excuse me, not intro bumper, break bumper. So go ahead and feel free to give that a listen.
While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patron subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com, and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patron subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com, and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patron subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherrealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast.
And we are back. So, after all of these events of the last session, so we have Fennec, who has just been apprehended by members of the House Orion and handcuffed to the wall, getting ready to be handed over to the Breelish forces upon entry towards Sharn. The rest of the party is just regrouped, but real quickly, we are going to go over to Fennec for a moment. Fennec, do you have a couple of questions about your current situation?
Many, but I'll ask the ones I don't need an attorney for.
Sounds good. Go ahead and shoot. Not
Roughly, you said it. Roughly, how big is the room he's being unlawfully detained in?
He is lawfully being detained in the equivalent of a rail cart. It's the steerage cart. So aside from seeing boxes, you have a full cart around you. You are just handcuffed to a single point at the very end of the cart.
From where he is chained like an animal, how far is he from the door?
I don't know an animal that's chained by the wrist, but you are chained probably, we're going to say about 100 feet. We're going to say that 50 feet from the door, because we're going to say that each cart is about 50 to 60 feet away. 50, 60 feet long.
Okay.
So you're going to be handcuffed about 50 feet away from the door.
Okay, and there's no guards currently in the car with him?
Not inside the car, but occasionally they are peeking in through the window.
Okay.
After all, you are feigning dead.
Well, no, that ruse is over. Because he was actively talking to Levin.
Yeah, but they were distracted talking to Gearfreed.
Gearfreed.
Oh! That works even better for me.
Oh, God, where are you going with this one?
I'm glad you think so. So,
Okay.
Before we get too much further, hold on. You guys are now, we're going to jump over. You guys are regrouped. What are you doing? Sorry, everybody except for Fennec.
All right.
I just entered. And I just entered, and I said that Fennec has been arrested.
So, Saerys, what is your reaction?
She looks disappointed.
Or is that somehow worse?
Suppose.
It only makes Fennec work
I suppose I will have to get him out.
And how are we to go about doing that?
I was going to ask that same
Yes.
question.
Well, usually the way this works is you all wait here, I go fix it, and then we come back and leave.
Well, see, a bit of a problem there. We're on a moving train.
Mm-hmm.
We can't really leave.
I am aware.
If you were to go and try to retrieve him, we would all be stuck on the moving train.
You are very observant, Gearfreed.
I mean, if you want to do that, you have to at least talk to that one lady. She's been waiting for you for quite some time.
Indeed.
If I
Can I see who he's mentioning? Like, if I look in the direction that he came from, do I see someone? Like,
maybe you could convince her to help us and tell them that they're the manager.
I'm going to give you... 1 second. I'm going to give you a choice. You can either use your passive perception or you can roll perception. Which do you feel more confident in?
My passive perception's 14. I'll go with that.
All right. You're from where you are. You kind of look a little bit. You're not able to make out the face, but you're able to see a wrist, kind of a wrist and a hand sticking out with the equivalent of a pocket watch. So you're not able to make out exactly who he's talking about, but you're able to make out that there is a figure waiting.
Okay, and is she in the car, same carriage car as me, or is she in the next carriage car?
The next card over.
Okay. And I would have to go through one of those little, like, spacer sections?
Yep.
Oh my god, this is so perfect. I love trains.
Maybe you can convince her to distract the guards and say they're the manager.
Actually, Yami, I might be able to get her off your case.
Really now? Is it my hat you're talking about? Because, I'm going to give him a wink like, I'm saving that.
No, I mean, I mean, it wouldn't be helpful to the plan of trying to get Fennec out of the prison. But if she's a problem for you, I can make that problem go away very easily. In fact.
No, we need her.
Oh.
Or what?
She's a
I like where this
distraction.
is going.
All right. Let me lay my thoughts on the table at the very least. We go to Ramos. We politely request that he help us expedite this process. We go to the injured party. We offer to compensate them so that they can drop the charges against them. And then we continue on with our day once we reach Rote.
Well, we can't get Fennec out until we're closer to Rote anyway, so there's no need to rush this.
I might actually have a secondary solution if all else fails.
I'm gonna
Levin's
lean
going to
into
put his hands
Gearfreed.
up and say, I've said my piece.
Right.
Please continue.
I'm gonna lean into Gearfreed and whisper like, "Be careful."
Right. So I've got something of a history with House Orion, and I might be able to bargain some time, as it were, in order to free our compatriot. But I should mention, you would all owe me tremendously because it's not the easiest thing for me to do.
Of course. So we will probably scrap that plan right away, because I have no desire to be beholden to anyone.
I'm just saying it's an option on the table.
Oh, what's the offer here? What do you want exactly in return? A favor?
Yeah, favor. Something of value. I don't know. It'd be an active IOU. You would owe me.
Right. Would we be able to employ your plan if, say, one of our methods fail?
Exactly. I'm just saying.
Or would this have to be done in lieu of those?
I think unless we're going to something highly illegal, and that would potentially just get us all arrested. If it's just a simple, we ask Ramos, he can't do it. They don't accept any kind of bribe or request. I might be able to call on not necessarily a favor, but House Orion owes me time with the Dragon Kyber crystal using the power, the cruiser right now. I've basically got it for free for the next, I believe is it the next year? DM, was it the next year or was it a year and a half?
I think it was, we're going to go with a year.
Right.
You have the crystal on lease from the house.
Yes, for a year, and for the first year, I don't have to pay for it, and we sort of work something out for that. I might be able to negotiate a few months off of that in order for his freedom, so they can knock 2 or 3 out, but that is quite a bit of money I'd be missing out on making deliveries, or ferrying people from place to place. I'm just saying, it's just an option.
Well, if we need it, then we can use it, but for now, we should be alright. Assuming they let him out.
It's viable.
Hey,
Sorry.
Levin, what did
So-
Fennec actually do to get locked up in?
With that question, we're going to jump over to Fennec. Fennec, I know you've been itching to do something. What are we going to do?
So I almost feel bad having listened to their entire plan because technically, if I act on it, it's metagaming.
I know that's
No,
kind of why I
I-
did it this way.
Which is why
so
we're
you-
asking what would Fennec do?
You're
Yeah.
stuck with what would Fennec do right now?
So
Holy
in response to that,
WWFD.
the response to what would Fennec do is in the general chat of make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
You're right, but what is Fennec doing to do such things?
So Fennec has a couple questions. How often are the guards peeking in to check on?
Are you paying attention to their rotations?
Yes.
You would notice that about every minute and a half, at least one of them peeks in.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So he will wait till this right after the last check-in happens. He will.
I missed that
So-
last part. You kind of broke up a little bit.
So he will put his plan into action right after the last check-in. So as soon as the guard turns back and it's that window, so to speak,
Okay.
is when he will start.
All right, so you got 90 seconds. What are you doing?
He is going to misty step out of his handcuffs.
Okay.
And then he is going to minor illusion. He's going to wait a little bit and then minor illusion himself in the spot.
What is your height? Because minor
Not-
illusion.
not-
What is
Up
the,
to 5 feet. Minor illusion is you can create an image of an object, blah, 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 no
Yes, but-
larger than a 5-foot cube.
keep that in mind that you're not able
The
to
important line that he just glossed over was object.
cubed. You're not an object. Secondly, you also would not be able to fake the handcuff.
Well, I mean, you could put it so it's in.
No,
But no, it's fine. Okay. We can write
But
on that.
because that's a cantrip, you can still utilize it.
Yep.
Because in that instant, Fennec wouldn't know all of that.
Yes.
And you're not burning a spell slot. I wouldn't want you to waste an actual resource for it, even though this is really the extent of combat.
Well,
we'll find out.
He is burning the Misty Step slot, but that is an at will because of his sorcery.
Yep. So,
Yep.
class feat, utilizing. What would you like?
Yep.
You are now up to 30 feet away from your handcuff. You
Yep.
are free. You have an illusion in place that I believe lasts a minute.
Yep.
Okay.
And he will make it as close to the door that he can. So I would say the 30. So he Misty Step 30. He's going to use his movement, and then you said it's in a cargo essentially,
Yeah.
this. So he will find a darker area behind stuff and hide for the moment.
So we're looking at something more like this. Ignore the encounter that's on the map.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So
Except it's empty of cargo, really. Besides the ship, the vessel that you guys are occupying.
okay. So there's nothing for hide behind.
You can hide in the ship. You could the cruiser. You could hide behind the cruiser. There's no real shipping being part of the regular luggage. You can hide behind things, but it's not heavily populated as you see it on the map. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yep. No. I get it. The range illusion. 30 feet. Oh, that one. Yeah. All right. So he'll Misty Step to 30. He'll move 30 and hide in the cruiser.
All right, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Could I argue advantage because it's that window of time where they're not looking? And he has like a little bit of time to kind of scope out the surroundings.
I'm going to say give me a straight stealth check.
Okay. Couldn't hurt to ask.
No, you listen, you miss 100% of the chances you don't take.
13.
They notice one of them takes a peek in the back and says, all right, we're good. Upon this, as you're hiding on the second rotation, though, he notices something's off, and he goes in to investigate. So one guard begins to enter the room, heading towards the cuff that seems not to be placing with that minor illusion that at this point would have vanished.
Okay.
So now you are alerted, they are alerted that you're gone.
Okay.
You are going to hear, he's gone! Search! Get the word out! We're looking for a goblin! And with that, I'm going to jump back to the rest of you.
Sorry, guys.
Did we hear that?
You did not. You guys are like
Yeah,
three carts
we
away.
we weren't in steerage. We were in our own cart.
Right. I should be asking: are we hearing the guards like transfer this information throughout the train?
Not yet.
Right.
You got to wait
All
until
right.
the word of mouth passes. There's no real.
It might take a couple minutes.
Yeah,
All right.
there's no speaker on the train.
Oh, Aaron, I
What?
just saw that.
Right. So, we're taking the diplomatic approach. We're not going to do anything untoward. Is this what we're agreeing on?
No.
It would be the safest legal method of handling it.
So,
I feel the
We're
same.
waiting, I guess.
squeaky clean it is. Let's talk to Ramos. We'll see what he can do first, and if he can't help, then
I would not advise doing that. He dropped a lot of money to get us on this train, and we've complicated his life back in Nucia. I don't know that we want to be racking up more favors and dropping more of our problems at his doorstep.
Saerys, as a counterpoint, do you think keeping him out of the loop on this is wise?
I mean, you can inform him, but I would not ask him to fix this. He is probably...
Oh, I'm not asking him to fix this.
Okay.
I'm simply asking for him to help us fix this.
That's asking him to fix this.
Incorrect.
It will be in his mind.
If we're the ones to offer compensation of damages, then no, he's simply facilitating the process.
I feel like he is going to see this as yet another instance of us bringing a problem to his doorstep.
I agree.
I don't know that that's something we want to be doing if we want to be doing business with him. It smacks of incompetence.
So
You can-
we're circling back to the point of, and the only way that doesn't happen is if he is not informed.
You can tell him we have a problem and that Fennec's been detained, and then I would leave it at that and not ask for anything.
All right, so let's just assume for right now that we take Ramos out of the equation. Saerys, what would you propose that we do then?
I am going to sit here and enjoy the view and wait until we are closer to Rote.
We have a number
Worst
of
comes
hours
to
before we
worst.
have to do that.
Worst comes to worst, we still have a Gearfreed plan, and if anything, I'll take that IOU. If it comes to be, because I'm not going to leave Fennec. I refuse.
We'll leave Fennec, but there's no point in busting him out now. Where would we go? As you've all pointed out, we're on a train.
Don't we have a...
The
Carl,
point
worst-
is,
The worst that he's going to go under is maybe a couple of days in a cell and possibly several hundred gold in fines.
Don't we have a flying cart thingy? What happened to that?
Cruiser's in storage. Look, as long as he doesn't try to do something stupid like escape, we should just be fine living there a few days.
I love how this is flowing.
Worst case scenario, we can just bust out the cruiser, we'll get it warmed up, and then just all hop off the train.
That said, I do believe Ramos needs to be informed sooner rather than later. Saerys, I will maintain discretion.
How is it? Like, how many prisoners are down there with him? How many guards are watching him?
Currently, no one else is being detained. We noticed 2 guards at the location and a few on the approach.
We
We
mean
do know that
Don't forget that one guard. I think her name was Karen. She's definitely guarding that cart.
we do
Yeah.
know that the guards are underpaid and that they could really use some better representation.
I fear there may be. Well, we might want. I'm gonna work on a contingency plan. That's all.
We can
If
still
you
use her, as I point to the lady still waiting.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go inform Ramos, provided he's still awake.
Mm-hmm. Set.
All right, Yami. Would you like me to deal with this woman for you?
Please and thank you. As I kind of like peek through the I'm assuming like some sort of window to like glance through, and then she looks like ducking.
It's
Alright.
Yeah, if you
been
want,
like
that'd be great.
20 minutes.
All right.
She's nothing but pissed.
She's
Yummy.
a giant ball of rage.
Yami, trust me, but I will need you to follow me, and I'm going to grab him by the arm and walk him up to the Karen.
Before we
All
get
right,
to
I'm
that,
going with it. Mm-hmm.
we're gonna come back to Fennec. Fennec,
And the Great Escape.
what are you doing, buddy?
You little rascal, you. Was that show Prison Break?
So what's happening around him?
You have both guards currently investigating the room. You had heard chanting as if somebody was casting some sort of a spell, like message, so that they can start spreading the word that there's a goblin on the loose who is under arrest and listing the various crimes.
Okay.
You are hiding in the cruiser as these two are thoroughly looking through the room. What would you like to do?
Um,
Also, what
I
is
know
your
that-
passive perception?
a 10.
You notice nothing else.
That's probably because he's not paying attention to it. So I know there's the 2 guards in the room. Would he know if there's more outside the door?
You would have no idea. Nobody gave you a guard count.
Okay.
And you were
Um,
feigning passing out when you were arrested, so you don't even know how many guards were around you.
Fair. How close are the 2 guards in the room to me?
With your passive perception, you have absolutely no idea.
I can't gauge distance.
You're
Oh,
hiding
but I'm
in a
not
cruiser.
hiding. Okay. Yep. Nope. That's fair. I retract my question.
There you go.
Yep. Nope. It made sense.
As I also said, the storage area is not as populated as the image produces. There's only some luggage and the cruiser.
Yeah.
So you can assume safely that they're going to check the cruiser.
Yeah. Well, given that information, I mean, he's still kind of under the impression that he's in clear. So
Cool.
he's gonna what?
I was going to say, with that 10, you don't notice them approaching the cruiser.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is like he's under the impression, so I'm gonna play it like he still thinks he's good.
Oi, we see you.
And he'll just look up and smirk. Do you? And then he's gonna cast darkness around the cruiser. And he is
Okay.
gonna book it the fuck out of there.
You are you able to see through darkness, or are you blinded?
I am when I use it, when I cast it. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Sorcery
You-
points.
I'm just double checking. You are able
Yep.
to make it out. But you do see through the window. Give me a perception check.
Saerys isn't here to see all this. 17.
You're able to see 3 guards heading towards your cart. Those of you who are in the group together, you are seeing these 3 guards moving in a rush towards the back compartment.
And Saerys just lets out a sigh. That's contingency plan. But the only one she can talk to is Melee, because Levin went off to talk to Ramos, and Gearfreed and Yami are dealing with a Karen.
Melee is going to respond. You don't think he actually broke out, do you?
They left a goblin alone and unattended and unwatched. Of course he broke out. I would be disappointed if he didn't try.
What's this mean for us?
Well, my initial plans only partially going to work. Ideally, if he can find his way to us, I can perhaps improvise something.
Here's hoping.
Indeed.
And now we're going to
Simple
go head over.
solutions.
Yep. Sorry about that. We're going to
Nope.
head over to the Karens. You guys are dealing with this Karen.
Yep. I
I'm being
So-
dragged along.
yeah. I pull him up by the arm, just like kind of dragging him with me.
It's
I walk up-
about time. Do you know how
Right.
long I've been waiting?
Terribly sorry, he was really dragging his feet. What exactly is the problem?
Your employee is so rude, he was unhelpful, and he groped me.
I can't believe this. Yami, this is the last straw. I slap him in the face, and I say, "You're fired."
About time. I'm glad something good happened. Serves you right. And she's going to walk off looking completely justified in her actions.
I'm gonna shrug and be like, well, shit.
Yeah, see, you
Sorry,
just
it's
need
a
to
little
placate these
harder,
fools,
but-
and everything works out.
Sorry, it's a little harder, but I can deal with it.
Right.
There you
Well,
go.
now that's been dealt with. What's with the? And I assume we now notice the guards that are making their way through.
You notice 3 guards running through.
I'm gonna do 11, put the palm in my face and be like, Fennec.
Speaking of Levin, I'm going to jump over. Levin, what are you doing? As you're walking towards the first class cart, you would notice 3 guards storming towards the steerage cart, or moving towards the southernmost cart.
Levin's gonna let out a long sigh. Right. I should probably go see what that is. Considering the timeline of events. Damn it. And he's gonna head back at a brisk pace.
So you are all kind of starting to move southernmost, yes, while Fennec is moving northernmost. Fennec, you notice that as you start getting about halfway through the next compartment's hallway, for lack of a better term, you're going to see 3 guards stop in front of the doorway, blocking you. What would you like to do?
What kind of door is it?
Think of it as a subway sliding door that leads to a joint that you
Is
have
there
to
a
pass
window?
through. There are many windows.
No, but on the door,
Yes,
so I can
but
see into
it's
the
being
next.
blocked.
But can I see into the next compartment?
You cannot. It's being blocked.
Oh. Okay. Okay. I see you guys. What seems to be the problem?
Come quietly, and there will be no problem.
So you're saying if I go quietly, I'm free to go?
No, if you come quietly, there will be no violence.
Ah, see, that changes things.
You are under arrest. You were told this.
Well, I was told that. I respectfully disagree. And here we are. Because
Come
I
quietly,
was never given a
and
chance.
there will be no problem.
There'll be what?
Come quietly, and there will be no problem.
I am to clarify, using your words, I am under arrest, yes?
Yes.
Then I would like to speak to my lawyer. And I have the right to.
Well, currently you are resisting arrest, and we have to reapprehend you first. Unfortunately for you, we are obliged to report all of this to the rote services.
Now, when you say all of this, are you also going to report that 2 of your guards were not paying enough attention to a locked up prisoner that they lost him?
And you can rightly assume they are going to be court-martialed and tried to the fullest extent of the law.
This is
Appreciate
why
your
they-
testimony.
Oh my god.
I mean, he's literally a chaos goblin.
Now, do I have your word that if I come quietly, I'll get to speak to my attorney and make my case, which I was not allowed the last time?
Have you been deprived of contacting anybody?
Yes, I was held and I was pulled away and locked up in steerage like an animal.
Were you deprived of communication with anybody?
I was never offered.
2 points, meta-wise. You never
Yep.
asked, and you were not deprived. Somebody came to see you and spoke to you, despite the fact that you lied and you tried to feign being dead. So you have never once been deprived of any of your inalienable American rights.
Oh, I know this.
Oh, okay, because that's what's being asked here, and so
No,
give me
I
a
know.
deception
But
check.
are these the guards that took him the first time when they first found him?
Oh no, you ratted not a part.
You
of
ratted
them.
them out.
You ratted them out. They're about to face the death penalty because of you, or life imprisonment.
Because they lost it?
Reprimand.
Well, no,
Severe reprimand.
This
that's
is when,
These guys really do need to form a union.
yeah,
that is the case Fennec is making, is because it's a different set of guards. He's saying he never got this, so that he's trying to get it.
Give me a deception check.
He's trying to get in contact with Saerys.
No, I get that.
Okay.
That's why they're saying you've never been.
Everything you said
have-
is absolutely correct. Everything you said is
Okay.
absolutely correct.
I'm just checking that.
Yes.
I wanted to be sure. Give me that deception check.
I'd say I'd argue for advantage, but I can't think of a reason why.
Okay, because I wasn't going to give it to you unless you had a really good reason.
I mean, he's pretty. I guess I would argue for it because, like, the points he's making, like, I don't know, he's feisty right now, so it's like he is really selling it.
Yeah,
Well,
but that doesn't necessarily get because
Yeah.
because you're feisty doesn't mean you're being persuasive.
Yeah.
What you're doing is giving you the check.
Okay, so all right, so I would argue the advantage only because these guards weren't with him, so they don't know the full story, and they already know that the other 2 are being reprimanded for how they handled the situation. So he's leaning into that.
well, you're not going to be getting the advantage because of the fact that first off, they assume that the basic, because it wasn't necessarily those were people that were involved in you being arrested, but that's just for being lax, not for dipping on protocol and arrest.
Okay,
So they're going to assume their professionalism.
got it. Okay.
So that's why I'm saying you wouldn't be able to get advantage for that. But I like the attempt. It was very
No,
creative.
that's fair. I get it.
Listen, again, you got to take the shots. Otherwise, you never know.
15 on the deception.
You're able to convince one of them, but the others quickly kind of jar him back. Are you going to resist us, or does it have to resort to violence? Please don't make it resort to violence.
No, you really wouldn't want this to resort to violence. But
Neither would you.
Do you keep all your detainees locked up in steerage like animals, or like is that standard protocol?
Well, I mean, you are a goblin.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Well,
Button pressed.
Yep.
revising contingency plan.
This is going to be fun. Are you guys going to be able to get out of this one?
We used to have that favor.
Saerys can.
Oh,
You have a favor from who?
No, I'm.
Gearfreed.
No, I don't. That won't work if this happens. It's like the one thing that I was like, if it doesn't get violent, then yeah, I might have something. And I assume that it's about to get very violent.
Why don't we go to them while I figure out Fennec's next move?
Sounds good. So you guys are all seeing these guards. You're all kind of coming to the same conclusion. What the hell did Fennec do now? What is your reactions before I ask for initiative?
I haven't attacked yet.
I know. It's just I feel like it's inevitable at this point.
This is gearing towards like we need to start taking turns for things.
Yeah. So just because I'm asking for initiative does not necessarily mean combat. It just means order of events has to happen and
time management.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got Levin is the furthest one away. He's on his way back, walking briskly. Mei Li would be following Saerys like her shadow, and Gearfreed and Yami had just finished dealing with the Karen. All of you notice these guards moving. What are you doing?
Noting their uniforms.
Is Saerys and Melee in the same cart as us? I'm pretty sure 11 will be like a part
They
behind.
are not.
No? Okay.
You were just finished dealing with the Karen in the other car.
Okay, I don't know if you guys would have caught up by then, so that's why I want to make sure.
Oh, Saerys hasn't left her.
Said.
Saerys hasn't left her seat. She's still sitting there, kind of like casually enjoying the view, looking out.
Go ahead.
Right. Who's going?
So with that being said,
I was gonna say real quick,
Right.
Saerys has probably pulled out her disguise kit and is quickly starting to apply makeup to change the appearance of Mei's skin tone.
Alrighty.
It's like you need
with that professional touch that you have with your disguise kit, you are able to change her complexion.
Yes, and then I'm like, let's do braids. How long is Mei's hair?
I believe I had said it's to her waist.
Excellent.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. It's like, how
long does that take?
Let's gonna do a braid and like she's not worried. It's like she's taking her time. So yeah, let's give you a braid. Maybe do a nice little updo coil. Yes. I think
Melee
that's
is
gonna
responding to your kind of demeanor. So if you're calm, she's going to be calm. But if you have any sort of anxiety showing, she's going to kind of mimic it in her own way of processing.
Oh, Saerys isn't worried because she's not implicated in anything yet. She
Oh, yeah,
hasn't visited the prisoner. She's
Yeah.
There's no connection with Saerys whatsoever. Like, there's no reason to even
Yeah.
think of Saerys.
So yeah, she's as
Hold
far
on.
as
Except for there is a mysterious lawyer of this goblin that has been mentioned.
sure. Good luck finding
No name.
quote unquote this.
No
Yeah.
name.
No, he. Oh no, he didn't say it.
No, you said that during the break, my friend.
Yeah. Nope, I did. Yep, you're right.
So yeah, she's fairly confident that she is at this currently not connected to anything that is happening to the train.
Yep, so you are able to move in a very calm way.
Yep.
You would notice that at this point, Levin, you would be passing by as you see Saerys braiding Maylee's hair.
Right. He's going to turn to Saerys real quick. All right, what happened?
Gods rushed by. What do you think happened?
Well, either there's a fire or there's going to be.
I
Doing
mean,
anything about it?
as you can see, I am braiding Maylee's hair. Yes, so I am initiating my contingency plan now. First order of business.
Any need of assistance?
How good are you with updo braids?
That's a very good question.
Yes.
Levin, how good are you at doing braids?
Keeping hair manageable? Yeah, he can do that.
Okay.
All right. Do the second coil, and we'll do a counter rotation. Gonna look very cute, by the way. Very
Fine.
adorable.
What style of braid are you going with on this?
Just basic one. The real beauty of it will be the counter twisting coils on top.
Right, I'll just keep it to the. I'll keep to it then.
For the first time in Maylee's life, she feels like a princess.
Aw.
As she
The first time we see Levin braid hair.
That said, once I'm done with this one, I am going to have to see what's going on down there once it's actually developed.
Once you do, please don't sit next to me again.
Who said he was sitting?
Well, I just mean don't rejoin me here. The less I'm connected to you, the easier it is for me to move about.
Alright, just as a quick check, you still have that fog cloud scroll, yes?
I have surprises, yes.
I was confirming one, but thank you for notifying me of potentially others.
She just smiles.
And with that, we're going to jump over back to Yami and Gearfreed before we hop back over to Fennec.
All right, I've got a bad feeling about this, and I'm going to my left gauntlet. I got the tip of one of the fingertips on the gauntlet kind of opens up, and the pair of smith tools that I just bought pop out, and I kind of poke myself in the shoulder with them on my right side, and the gears and the cogs and motifs on the armor start to move as I'm currently activating my arcane armor, because I've got a feeling that things are going to go badly.
Okay.
And I would rather just use my action doing that now as opposed to wasting it in combat.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna put my hand on his moving gears, like kind of like touch him, like move back my hand back, like okay, trust me, I trusted you, trust me, nothing's gonna happen. This is all gonna go smoothly.
Well, prepare for the worst.
Listen, Fennec is a little bit crazy, but he's not stupid. That's one thing I can assure you.
That's a perfect note to segue over. Fennec, what are we doing?
All right, so he's fuming right now because of the racial comment that was said towards him.
Mhm.
But he is not going to attack.
Okay.
And he's just going to look at the guard who said it and just, like, with a very firm, like, distinct tone, you're going to regret that. But not today.
So, that's not answering the question. Are you going to come quiet? And he's going to kind of toss over the handcuffs.
He will put the cuffs on reluctantly and with attitude.
Alrighty. With that, they are going to escort you back to the steerage cart, and the hostilities are going to subside.
Does that make sense what I just said?
Yes.
Okay. So he's fuming still, and he's death glaring this guard the entire time.
Alrighty. With that, you're going to notice that you are joined by the other two guards who are now keeping you company, though they are not handcuffed. And two more guards are watching outside of the steerage cart.
So the two guards that originally lost him are in there?
Yep.
So he is going to turn that furious face, and he's just going to look at them and smile. And he's just going to look at them. Oh, if you only knew what was coming to you.
I think I have a pretty good idea. House Orion isn't fun when it comes to being negligent in one's responsibilities.
Sorry, you kind of... Well, House Orion what?
Isn't very forgiving when it comes to being negligent in their responsibilities.
Oh, so they know that they're screwed.
Yeah, they got thrown under the bus. They know it. They didn't just get thrown in there for no reason. Like, this is keeping an eye on you now is their saving grace.
What do you think? 0 for 2?
You do understand that you still have to deal with the Breland military force, correct?
I do realize that I still want to speak with my lawyer and attorney, Thalia.
Okay. When you are processed en route, you will have an opportunity to speak to her. Unless she's here on the train, and then she can come and visit you at will.
She is.
She is. Where can we find them so we can reach them?
They are.
Where can we find them so we can know where to reach them?
I mean, it's been hours, so I couldn't tell you exactly where because I got locked up.
Well, if you bought tickets to the train, you should have an idea where they are.
I do have an idea, but I'm not very... I'm bad with directions. I could show you.
No, you can tell me where your ticket number is. We'll start there.
Can't.
Why not? I thought you said you had nothing to hide.
As a bit of meta pigeon, Fennec, you do have one person of contact that has been seen by the guards.
Levin?
Yes.
Yeah.
He has come to visit you.
Oh.
And Gearfreed.
the individual that came to
Yes,
see
and
me.
Gearfried.
Gearfried's come to see him?
He was
I
outside.
was with Levin.
He was basically
he physically
distracting the
threw Levin
guards
away.
during your conversation.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, there's a friend of mine outside. I'd like to speak to him and the gentleman that, or the individual that came to see me earlier.
Sure thing. Do you have a name so that we can go look for them?
They prefer to remain anonymous.
How am I supposed to find somebody that is remaining anonymous?
Because my guess is the one that was outside the room is still standing there.
So I'm
But
supposed to wander this train looking for somebody I've seen that has been seen once.
All right.
And-
All right. Their names, Gearfreed and Levin.
Thank you. So now we can go and reach out to your contacts.
Much obliged.
And with that, they are going to relay the message to those that are outside. The message is going to be sent that they are looking for somebody named Gearfried and Levin to claim the identity of
Coordinate communications, yeah.
Yep. Because the message is that he's looking to speak to his lawyer, who is anonymous. Or excuse me, Talia. You said Talia.
Hoping when you said claim, I was going to use that.
So, do we run into the guards?
So
Question
yes, so as they're going to start kind of knocking on doors. Are you Gearfried? Are you Levin? After some time, you would overhear them asking those questions.
Yeah, right, over here. I heard my name, Gearfried.
Yes, we have somebody who's being held for various crimes. I believe he's visited.
Small goblin, small green goblin man.
Yeah,
Three-piece
you
suit.
know, he's looking for his lawyer Talia. I don't know if you can help us with that.
Of course he is. Excuse me, Levin. Where's Talia?
If you went on ahead, Levin is still back
Yep.
helping
Oh.
Saerys braid Miley's hair quickly.
Unless you're looking
well,
at me.
I actually have no idea where Talia is. So
So Yami, you'd be overhearing this as well. So if you want to interject, you certainly can.
but I suppose I could help with any legal issue. Just bring me to the goblin.
Unfortunately, he's asking for his lawyer very persistently, Talia. So that's who we're trying to bring.
Right. Well,
We're your assistant.
I have officially been hired by Talia, as it turns out.
Exactly.
Is Talia on this train?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Well, then I can neither confirm or deny you coming with us.
Technically, he did ask for Talia, but they also asked him, and he contacted him. He gave those two names.
Yes, but the contacts were to find Talia.
Oh, okay.
Because you are persistently asking for your lawyer. You said she's on the train. You said you couldn't give her. You said you didn't know where she was, but you knew that two other people had come with you.
Correct. Yep.
As that chain of events went. So
Yeah,
we're trying to get
as a
lawyer
potential
to shut you up.
Sorry. As a potential out, could they possibly delegate a runner to go looking for other individuals for contact?
I'll allow it. So if you are attempting to intercede, go ahead and give me a persuasion check. DC is going to be 15 for this one.
I think Levin asked if somebody was going to be sent out as a runner from the other side or from us.
I'm assuming
one of
from
the
your
guards
party.
sent to look?
So basically,
Okay.
he's attempting to be that middleman, the runner, so that they can get the message to Talia or at least get contact with.
Who's rolling the persuasion check?
You would be.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Persuasion. Hey!
The dice tell a story.
There we go. So you are fairly convincing. All right. I suppose I could bring you, but can you point me in the direction at least to where Talia is, so that I can get her? He keeps talking incessantly about getting this lawyer.
There are a few carts back. I just kind of like vaguely motion behind me.
That's at least something. Thank you. And he's going to keep walking, but a different guard is going to escort you towards Fennec.
All right. Yami, are you coming with me?
Oh yeah.
And
It's allowed.
Levin
Guard.
and Saerys, you're going to hear as this guard is passing by your cart, which would be like the second cart over. Talia, I'm looking for a lawyer named Talia.
like his back is turned to me.
Yeah, he's already passed you.
Okay. I will quickly mutter under my breath the disguise self spell and make myself look like a fairly respectable half-elven woman with a dark brown hair, kind of also just done up in a little loose bun, and she's wearing kind of like a little sort of like professional robes, I guess, like a sort of like a suit. It's like a high collared robe with some like fitted sleeves, and she's wearing some like sensible boots and trousers.
Alrighty. Are you going to approach?
She'll just like lean out from her seat and like, excuse me, did you say Talia? May I ask why you're looking for me?
Yeah, this goblin is asking for his lawyer. He said her name was Talia.
That would be one of my clients. Has there been a problem?
Yeah, we have witnesses who... Sorry, go ahead, Levin.
I was going to say, go and handle this. I'll finish up here.
Excellent. All right. Yes. This is my personal investigator and my assistant. I will be right back. Please, good sir, lead on. And she'll get up and follow the guard.
He's going to start leading you back. Yes, so we have witnesses claiming that not only did your client open up and enter a cart that belonged to a young woman, he was caught ogling her, and as she screamed, he told her to calm her tits down.
You don't say.
And I don't know about you, but these types of actions are highly frowned upon, particularly on the House Orion and within the country of Breland.
If these allegations are true, I too am greatly disappointed.
Unfortunately, it gets worse. After he was apprehended, he got out of his handcuffs and attempted to escape. He threatened several of the guards, telling them, "You are going to regret this. I promise you, you are going to regret this."
Definitely sounds like one of her clients, but.
I see. So he got caught. Then he escaped detention. And then this is how she's phrasing it. He was caught. He escaped detention, made overt threats, and then got caught again.
Yes, by the end, he did give himself up, which might give him some sort of leniency.
And in the end, he gave up. Okay. This is great. I'm sorry. I'm just, you board a train, and you think I was enjoying the view out the window and watching the world go by. This has been sorry. Carry on.
Well, unfortunately, so is the woman who was ogled as she was just trying to change within her carriage.
Of course, I'm sure she has rights.
And during the duration of this exchange, you are now at the gate, at the doorway that's being guarded by 2 guards.
He said gave up. That can't be Fennec. We got the wrong goblin.
Those of you who, the other 2, what would you be doing in that interim as the other 2 are walking by? Would you already be in the room, or are you waiting for Saerys to approach?
Nope. I think me and Gearfreed walked in first. Just test the situation.
So you would have been escorted in, so you are sitting there. You would be able to have about 5 minutes of a conversation with Fennec in front of the guards. He is not being left alone.
Fair enough.
Alright. You've explaining to do. What the fuck happened?
See, I told you he was crazy. He's not stupid. Fennec knows what he's doing. I mean, kind of, as I look at him behind the bars.
No bars. He's just handcuffed.
Oh, I'm not on the wall. I'm just literally just handcuffed.
Oh no, your handcuffs are handcuffed back to the wall. So now you're chained kind of.
So they're giving me more room.
You're chained like this, but no bars.
All right. Am I facing the wall, or am I able to face out?
You're able to face out to like this degree.
Okay, so I'm
You're
still
chained
back.
you're chained to the wall.
Okay.
But you do have the length of one manacle away from it.
Got it. Okay.
You know what, Fennec? Maybe I would... See, I put you in the corner too much, and now you just can't get away from it.
This is
I'm sorry.
a giant misunderstanding.
All right. Well, can you what can you say to clear up the misunderstanding?
Well, what have they been saying?
They've been saying that a smoldering goblin man was ogling a young woman who's changing, told her to calm her tits, and that then he broke out of the prison cell that he was put in for ogling said woman, and, here we are.
Well, those are lies, because that wasn't me, because I definitely haven't ogled anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta give it to Fennec. He doesn't really ogle.
Alright.
I mean, I did walk in on a woman changing.
Alright, you see, that might be what they're fucking talking about.
I didn't do it on purpose. I was just looking for the bathroom, and then the door opened, and there she was.
That part.
I was just minding my business.
You sure it wasn't somebody under the influence of somebody else?
Can I roll insight to see if he's lying about whether he was looking for the bathroom?
I would say, go ahead. So, you can choose to, Fennec, to either roll deception or persuasion, dependent on, and I would say don't roll it publicly, roll it to the GM to let me know what you're rolling.
Okay. I'm just trying to think, because he never specified what he was looking for.
This is where it's your judgment call, and you have to meet or beat a 17. Now, I'll know whether you're telling the truth or lying.
Yeah.
Based off of the roll you're using.
Straight roll?
No, it would either be using your dex, your persuasion modifier, or your... Oh, sorry, yes, straight roll. No advantage. Sorry, my fault. Translation error.
Alright, just came in.
Alright. As far as you can tell, he's being honest with his wording. He's not, he doesn't appear to be lying.
Alright.
Come on. That's Fennec, I told you. He doesn't ogle.
Right. Regardless, it seems like you've pissed them off to the point that they're not going to let you go.
Well,
right?
They are pissed off because they pissed me off because they were making... Do you know what they said to me? Did they leave that part out?
I assume they insulted you.
Insult is a generous term.
Not an accurate.
So, yes, yes, they're mad at me, and I will admit I did, go for a stroll while detained.
What'd they say to you, Fennec?
Whoa.
They called you a goblin.
Yeah, the way I don't know what I'm trying to think of how to say it. He said something about me being goblin.
He said what?
Hmm?
Who said it?
One of the guards.
Was it the one up there? The one that's was any of these two? As I point to them, was it one of these guys?
Is it the two that he confronted?
Yes. One of the
Yes.
two.
He's gonna point to him.
You want me to punch him in the face for you?
No. He's not worth
As
it.
I glare at the.
It is noted that you said that aloud. So, Saerys, you walk in at this point and you hear Yami threatening a guard.
And you will all see, like I said, the sort of lightly tanned woman, half-elven woman with the hair done up. She's looking around. She's like, "Oh, okay. You're here, and you're so much conspicuousness. So very, very much. Can I have a moment alone? Well, can I have some distance to speak privately with my client?" She'll ask the guards.
Unfortunately, we cannot let your client out of our line of sight.
I'm not asking you to be out of his line of sight. I'm just asking if you can move over there so we can talk.
Then yes, that I can do. And the guards are going to shuffle away, but they are going to make sure that they maintain eye contact or are able to see
line
him
of sight
at all times.
Yeah.
Keep me in your sights. You guys are real good at that.
And just gonna mutter under, step up next to him and just look down. It's like, what the fuck did you do?
I was looking for the bathroom, like I've been telling everybody.
Okay, so I'm going to let you know that you can put on the saddest puppy dog eyes ever. I know you, Fennec. You want looking for a bathroom. Thankfully, I also don't care. The part that hurts is that after everything I taught you, you got caught. Twice.
Well, no, there's yes, but no, but I did escape, but then...
You went back willingly? Oh my god! It's like we have to start all over!
The only way out was to set things on fire, and Levin said no fire.
Who listens to Levin?
So this is entirely his fault.
Yes, no. Well, maybe.
When in doubt, Levin it out.
This is weird because I feel like I want to blame Levin, and yet I don't think I can.
No, don't blame him. I put myself into this. I'll take that. But this part that we're now in is purely on the account that they really only did this to me because I'm a goblin.
Well, that's gross.
Right? But I will play nice. I will put on the puppy dog eyes, bare some teeth, and we'll be on our way.
It's the thing. We can't do anything for the time being because we are on a train. And that tends to complicate things just a little bit.
That's why I fight.
So, unfortunately, you will have to wait in here until we get closer to Roach.
Fine.
I am sorry. This is why we don't go looking for bathrooms on trains or any sort of confined space.
So how does one... You know what? Never mind.
Did you ever consider asking any of the conductors?
Who do you think I was looking for in the rooms?
Conductors aren't in rooms, Fennec. They're in the hallways where you can find them.
Oh, you're right. This was an honest mistake. I didn't mean to offend anybody. I was just...
This wasn't an honest mistake because you got caught. Can't stress how important it is that you don't get caught.
I'm sorry.
Lesson learned. We will start over at the beginning and resume lessons when we have an opportunity en route.
Is everybody with them, or is it just Saerys and Fennec?
I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah,
So Fennec will actually look up to Gearfreed. Like, he'll look at Saerys for a second, and then he'll turn his attention to Gearfreed. No, I appreciate you coming. I know we don't really know each other, but, you know, you were about to stick your neck out for a little guy. Appreciate it.
Look, I get what it's like to be the, rather singled out for your race, but, I'm mostly just here because it seems like everyone in this group has some sort of role to fill, and, group dynamic might shift a bit too much with, one person just going missing.
You guys all... Like, Fennec will take that to heart, and he'll kind of take it as, you guys need me?
Potentially, I haven't been here long enough to know.
They need me.
with that, we're going to jump over to Levin because we haven't heard from Levin for a while. What would you like to do after you finish braiding Maylee's hair?
Well, right now what he's doing is pulling out a small mirror, and this is how you would look with a box braid.
Oh my god.
Who knew that I was that pretty? Thank you.
Now, if you want to go through different styles, we could do a fishtail, we could do a Dutch, or we could do a simple crown braid, crocheted.
I don't know what any of those actually are.
Well, if you would like, I can take the time to show you each one.
Sure.
And he's going to continue.
Alrighty. And I think we're going to end tonight on that note. Because it has been an interesting session here. I was not expecting to have to arrest or apprehend a player this evening, so I consider myself lucky. Because I believe this is the first time for this group that somebody has been apprehended by the law. I don't think it's happened before.
Yeah, and Saerys is never going to let him live it down.
No.
Listen,
Oh,
I'm not even surprised that Fennec got arrested. I'm more surprised that Levin was braiding hair.
Gearfreed will have opinions on that braid, by the way. Gearfreed is very familiar with braiding hair, just not his own.
So good to know. There's a lot of people who are going to be braiding Maylee's hair here. I noticed that. With that, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, and those of you who are going to be watching for future prosperity, I hope you enjoyed the evening. It has been a blast on our end.
Yep.
Be sure to check out playersoftherealms.com. Support us by purchasing any of our merchandise or subscribing to our Patreon. Patreon subscribers do get discounts, so a win. For that, we will catch you all next week, where we are going to be playing for the weekend, the Friday before Halloween, I believe it is. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to see what's planned for that evening.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
Yay! I love the
Night,
enthusiasm.
everyone.
Yay! We all now have got a real taste of who Fennec is.
On the next
Oh, boy.
episode of Players of the Realm.
Welcome to Eberron. Alrighty, everybody, have a wonderful evening and a wonderful
you all.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Catch you.
Happy Friday the 13th. Don't forget Dice Legion.
Alrighty. Enjoy.